Eye contact, huge. Eye contact is the number one thing that gets me to identify that a girl is interested in me. It's also my way of telling her that I'm interested in her. And it's a different kind of eye contact. It's not like, oh, there's a girl. Like it's a specific, like, I see you across the way, and I want to make sure that you know that I'm here. That's the biggest one. And then he'll figure out a way to get over to you and talk to you. So you'll make the eye contact originally, and then he will figure out a way to get over to you. And I've heard quite a few different things. I've been like watching other videos doing something similar to what I'm doing here. And they always said that the woman is supposed to, that the woman's supposed to like pursue also. Fuck that. I don't agree with that at all. I think the man should be the one doing it. He should be the one, taking the leap of faith and putting himself out there. And maybe that's just my upbringing. I don't know, but I really truly believe that the man should be the one to approach. Now there is always given circumstances and different people and different upbringings and ways of doing things where the woman does approach. But in my world, and how I date and what I like, no, not at all. I want to be the one to pursue, because it shows her that she's worth it to me. And it shows me that she's worth it too, that I'm willing to put myself out there and, really risk failing and being embarrassed, and doing that kind of thing, just so that I can meet her and talk to her and see if we can go out on a date. That's like the eye contact, and then him instigating a conversation is the biggest telltale sign that he likes you. After that, there'll be like kind of like flirty, kind of like touching or stuff like that. Those are pretty obvious stuff. And then like there's some videos out there that say like where to touch a guy and all that stuff. Touch him where you feel comfortable. That's all that. There's no more than that. Oh, the scenario, yeah. So if you have the eye contact with the guy, and you guys are looking at each other from across the way, and then he doesn't approach you. Sometimes the question is, should I approach him? No, do not do that. But obviously you can if you want. I wouldn't particularly like that, and it takes away from the pursuit that the man should be doing. In my opinion. But if he makes the contact and doesn't come over, he's just worried. And he's trying to build the confidence to come over to you and talk. He's either waiting for the right time. He's definitely overthinking it completely. He's thinking about all the scenarios. He's thinking about, what if you say no, and what if you don't like me, and whatever. And he's completely ignoring the fact that you already had a connection, and you already want him to come over. You told him with your eyes that you want him to come over, and he is, not recognizing that. And I wouldn't approach him. Let him get the courage. That's up to him, because that's all on him at that point in time, where he's trying to find courage and trying to step out of his comfort zone. Make him work for you. That's a really important thing. Like, make him work for you. All right. So every guy kind of probably has like a little bit different kind of body language. I can just basically tell you my body language. So my body language would be more of, I would get into a comfortable distance from you. Meaning like I would be 3 or 4 feet away. And I don't know what that is in meters or kilometers. I don't know. But I would get within some semblance of a distance of you, and I would never, ever, ever, ever turn my back to you. It just would never happen. I have your attention, and I want to keep your attention. If I turn my back from you, I'm going to lose your attention. Obviously, when you guys like part and one goes the other way, yeah, you're going to turn backs. But like when you're in the conversation, he won't turn his back on you. He will make eye contact, and it will be an extended eye contact. It won't be a creepy amount of eye contact, but it will be more than normal. That's just a normal way that like me would really show you that I am more than interested in you. And this is the big one. And this is just my opinion about it, but you should feel, if you're in a crowded room and it's just you and him talking, you should feel like no one else is there. Like that is something that I would really strongly suggest to be cognizant of and really focus in on when that happens. It should just be you and him. That's it. And the conversation should just be strictly between the two of you. You might have some idiot drunk friend that's trying to jump in, whatever. But it always goes back to you. And then when inevitably you guys kind of get separated or you know, in different sides of the room or different sides of the little group of people that you're in, you should also still continue to have that eye contact. Like there's a conversation going on between the two of you, between your eyes. You're talking and you're still the only two people in the room. Even though I'm talking to this other person, you're still my main focus. And it should be the other way too. Like I should still be her main focus. It should be divided attention. And the most of the dividing should be towards that person, no matter who you're talking to. That's a big one. It's easy to see in yourself, and it's also really easy to see in that other person, in that guy, because I know when a woman's doing that for me. It's super, super, super simple to see. They are constantly, they never take their eyes off of you for more than like 3 seconds. And if they lose sight of you, and this is a cool trick to do too, is when he does take his eyes off of you, move really fast somewhere else and then watch him and see how panicked he gets when he doesn't see you where you were. And then he's like searches the room to find you. And then when you find each other again, it's like, oh, you know, like it's fucking awesome. So that's like one of the biggest ones to understand. That's connection. Like that's connection, and that's something I think that most of us look for is you know, connection, and that's the biggest thing that I ever really noticed that kept me around a lot longer. And kind of the goal is to keep that guy around a little bit longer to show him that, you know, if you keep him around longer, he will eventually stop being a complete dumbass and he'll realize how fucking awesome you are. And there takes some prodding and some pulling, but you never have to teach him how to be a man. It's kind of like a dual thing that happens there. But yeah, you'll know when he likes you. It's super obvious. It's super obvious with the eye contact. There is a play. This is really kind of interesting. I think some women might appreciate this. There is a play that happens when a guy goes to a bar, and so imagine, and this might have happened to somebody out there that might be listening. Has a guy ever come up to you and your friends, and you never really gave him a second look? You were just kind of like, oh, you know, whatever. He's good looking or whatever, right? Or not even, just kind of like, oh, okay. And then he starts talking to your friend, and for some reason, your attention starts to kind of move towards him. And then you start to kind of eavesdrop on the conversation. And he just keeps getting you interested in him through the conversation with her. And then before you know it, you're talking to him. And he is completely flirting with you. And he went a different direction with it. That's a play. Like, men do that. We do that. I do that. Like, I talk to your friend. I like you. I come up to 3 girls and I'm like, I like her. But I know that with the 3 friends, it's going to be overly intimidating. They're going to think that the first person you go up to and then how you approach is going to be the one that you like. So you don't do that. It's a fail, because when you get 3 women around each other who are all friends, they're very protective of each other, which you should be always. So what you do is you go to the one that you don't want to have a romantic relationship with, and you talk to her just in a polite conversational way where there's no flirting, there's nothing like that, and it calms the group down. And then they start to kind of forget about you a little bit. But within that, what you do is you kind of are reading the girl that you like, and you're asking her questions about what she does, and the friend, what she does and what she's into, and then you can navigate the conversation with her to asking questions about the 2 friends, like, so what brought you both here? Or what brought all of you here? And then hopefully they'll be like, oh, it's so-and-so's birthday. And you're like, oh, which one? And it's the one you like. Oh, jackpot. Because then you can go over to that other girl and be like, oh, I heard it was your birthday, happy birthday. And then boom, now you're in a conversation. And you've already kind of like infiltrated the group. So men will do that. The way that, so back to the original question where there's 2 girls and he's given eye contact and all that stuff to both of you, there is a third scenario, which is he's maybe trying, the only way that you can tell which one of you he likes and wants to be with is the one that he ends up talking to at the end, at the most and at the end of the night. That's it. Like, that's the only way that you can possibly tell. Because he's either really good at navigating social situations and dating situations, or he is he's a womanizer, right? And you'll be able to figure that out pretty quick. I have other videos that just describe that and how you can spot a womanizer or a guy just looking for sex, which most of you can probably do anyways. But it's always nice to have a little bit more information about that. But yeah, those 2, that scenario is really interesting when a guy talks to you and another girl the same way, you and your friend, and you're not sure which one you like or which one he likes. But the only way to tell that is at the end of the night, which one he ends up talking to and asking for her number. Oh yeah, if you have any questions about anything that I just talked about, anything that came up and a question popped into your head, feel free to throw a comment in there, and we will do our best to get back to you on that. That's part of what we do is we like to interact with our audience and see what you're saying and what you're thinking, and then kind of have a dialect with you.